What's up, guys? Welcome to the Risen Painting channel, where we do everything painting. Today we're going to be doing some staining of these windows here. These are Andersen E-Series double hung windows. We just finished up doing 5 of them, the single double hung windows, but this one's a double hung window. So yeah, we're gonna get to it. I already took the sashes out of these windows. It's fairly easy if you're working with the E-Series double hungs. You're not gonna have any issue taking out these sashes from these casings here. But it's very rainy here today in Minnesota. Humidity's high. I just needed to get these sashes out and ready to go. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hop over here and we are going to get all the hardware off of the sashes so that we can start masking everything. So here are the sashes removed from the casing. What we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna take these latches off of here. We're gonna wanna take these bump guard thingies off of here. Everything like this weather stripping, these latches here we're going to want to take off. We're going to take off these ones right here, this weather stripping. On the inside of the casing there's going to be some weather stripping as well that you may need to take out. This one went here, which is going to obstruct us masking in here and making sure that we can stain up in here. So you're going to want to go ahead and get all of those weather strippings out that are going to get in your way during this process. So yeah, let's get going on these here, getting all this stuff off so we can start masking. Now we're just gonna want to take out these little gadgets right here. These are nice. You can get these out. It's gonna make everything a whole lot easier. So let's get those out of there. Put those to the side. All right, so now we got our sashes disassembled. We got our sashes disassembled. We got all the hardware out of our sashes. So now we just want to start masking these things. Depending on how you're doing it, you can brush on polyacrylic. We're going to be using a BAC wiping stain. So we will just be wiping that stain on there. But you're still going to want to tape everything so you're not getting stain on the... Gosh, why do I keep forgetting what it's called? But you don't want to get stained on any of the white part. So we're just going to mask that off. I'm going to be spraying these windows with poly, with the polyacrylic. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more masking than you would probably do if you were just going to be brushing on your poly. Spraying is just a better finish, dries quicker. So yeah, let's get to masking these sashes. Just a cool little trick I learned recently is if you, this masking that you use, this masking here, this 3M masking that you pick up at Sherwin or wherever the heck you want to get it, it's got these perforated edges on it. If you pull right at those perforated edges, you will get a perfect tear every single time, just the way that you want it to be. So yeah, I actually learned that from Christian Manard at Moose Painting. So shout out Christian if you're watching this video. All right, we've got these windows all masked and ready. Shouldn't have to do anything else to these windows. I'm just gonna go ahead and do these other two ones here and pick back up on the video once I'm finished with those and I'm onto that sash. So obviously masking is honestly extremely crucial, probably the most important part to the whole thing. Obviously applying the poly and the stain is important too because you want it to look nice, but just making sure we keep product off of the things that we don't need it on is huge, especially to the customer. So yeah, just very, very time consuming. So yes sir. There we go. So you just kind of want to have everything, all the white covered, just as perfect as you can possibly get it. Stain, it'll wash off of other surfaces pretty easily, but once you put the clear coat on, it's very difficult. But if you have some acetone, that'll get it off pretty easily as long as you don't damage the already varnished areas. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Next thing, we're gonna move on to this casing over here. All right, so we're gonna move on to this casing here. If you are staining your windows pre-install, which is the best, we don't need to really worry about this too much. We don't need to worry about the nail fin. All we need to worry about is just the white areas, or whatever color the areas are on the insides of your casings. We just want that to be masked off really well. We are going to be spraying, so we just don't want any overspray getting on this. Again, it does clean off pretty easy, but better to avoid that. So I've got this all ready to go, everything taken off of it that needs to be taken off of it, and yeah, just get to masking. All right, so here's a little tough part here. Want to make sure we get this real good and kind of just slip that tape right in there like such. Get it in there nice and good. Grab yourself a little razor blade just to kind of get this all tucked up in there. Make sure you use a very sharp razor blade. Do not use a dull laser blade. It's gonna make your life miserable. So we got that little spot right there. right, so I am all finished masking. Everything has been masked completely. So now we're gonna move on to some staining. I'm going to be using Sherwin-Williams BAC wiping stain. We're doing the color Pine Ridge on these windows. With a wiping stain, you're just gonna use a rag, dip your rag in the stain and just start wiping it on. So let's get to doing that. All right, so we are all finished up with staining this casing. Right now, I'm just gonna kind of show you what you want it to look like. You want to make sure you get in the corners really good. It can be tough to get in the corners. It's tough to get in here. Oh, it's tough to get in the top of the window, but you want to do the best you can to get in there. You shouldn't see any streaking. No streaking at all anywhere. It should just be one nice uniform coat on the whole thing. This is a lighter stain, so I really only need one coat. I know if you want to go darker, you want to let it dry first and then put another coat on there. But yeah, that's pretty much what it should look like. All right, guys, so I am all finished up for the day, staining these windows here. I'm gonna let these bad Larrys sit overnight because, well, you just want to let them sit overnight. No, I mean, the other ones I was able to do, spray them pretty quick, but with these ones, with the weather, just can't. I just can't. It's just too humid out. The stain is still wet. This is an oil-based stain, and I am using a water-based polyacrylic. So I don't know how to explain it, but basically spraying too soon can trap solvents, can trap moisture, which just leads to a terrible finish. The polyacrylic's not going to bond correctly, and you're just going to get a milky look to your finish. Now, I could probably get away with spraying right now, although I'm not going to push my luck. The past few days, I was able to spray pretty quickly, quicker than normal with the other windows that I did, but I just knew that I could. Some people would say, why did you do that? But they turned out amazing. These ones I'm not going to push my luck on just because of the humidity and all of the rain that we're getting today. I'm going to wait until tomorrow morning to start putting our first coat on. So tomorrow I'm going to do 3 coats of polyacrylic. I'm going to do 1 coat sand, 2 coats sand, and I'm going to do a final 3rd top coat, just to get these things looking super, super good. But for now, yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna let these things sit, and yeah, that's it, I guess. I don't know, dude. Jeez. All right, guys, it's the next day. I'm gonna load up the sprayer here, some of that polyacrylic, and we're gonna get to spraying it. So let's do that. I'm gonna use the Quick Shot here. Got a little bit left in here. You can pour it in there. This gun is super nice for little projects like this. Kind of expensive, but if you can use one of these, it's gonna be great. Things are gonna dry a little bit quicker, so let's just get this all in there. Get that in there. This. Here's what we're using. Minwax polyacrylic clear matte. Clear matte we're using. So we got that. That's all done. Pop this. Make sure you shake it up real good. And then just get that in there. Just like such. Whoa. Good. Good like that. Make sure you close it nice and good. Oh, stuff here. Close that up a little bit. We're gonna be using a 308 tip here. These tips are really nice by Graco. Fine finish, low pressure. I keep this thing around 4, whatever 4 equals for the pressure. I don't know. I just like 4's been working on this. And then with spraying this, yes, it's water based, but you're definitely going to want to use a respirator. If you don't, you'll get sick. You will absolutely get sick. If you have allergies, they'll be 10 times worse. So, all right, let's spray. All right, let's get it. go, dude. See, this is what you don't want to do. See, you get too far ahead of yourself.
Then you forget to put a mask on. It's not smart. It's not smart. All right, we're all coated on that there.
So we're gonna let this dry now. We're gonna let it dry completely. May take a couple hours. A little bit colder here in Minnesota this morning. Not as dry. But yeah, we're gonna let this dry down, and once that's done drying, we're gonna sand it with some 220 grit sandpaper, and we're gonna do another coat. So yeah. All right, so we're gonna sand these now. I'm gonna start with the sashes, and I'm gonna work my way over to the casing after that. I've got some 220 3M no slip grip sandpaper. What I like to do is I like to fold it up like this. Gives you a very rigid piece of sandpaper to work with, because you're going to want to get in the corners and whatnot. What happens with the wood, once you spray the water-based polyacrylic on there, it raises the grain of the wood, so you just want to sand it, especially after doing the first coat. You could probably get away without sanding it and it would still seal up good, but it's not going to feel good. It's not going to look good. So for these windows, for this customer, these are very expensive windows. The customer's paying a lot of money to have these done. So we're going to sand, and we're not going to skip any of those important steps. So let's do it. All right, once you get everything sanded, you're just gonna wanna get all that dust off of there. I'm gonna be using an air compressor, but you can use a brush to get all that dust off. You just wanna get it clean and ready for second coat of spraying the poly. So let's do that. Second coat. Wear your mask. Just enough to cover. Just enough. If you end up getting a little bit of buildup like that, just grab a brush. Just kind of brush it in. Try to go with the grain as much as you can. And just kind of inspect. All right, so we're gonna let that dry. That's the second coat on there. And then we're gonna sand again. Scuff sand it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm doing a very light sand. Enough sand to see the scuff on there, but you're not trying to sand it off You're just lightly scuffing it, kind of knocking it down essentially. So, yep, we're gonna sand it again after this is dry. Then we're gonna do a final third coat and let that cure. Then we can put the window back together once that's dry. Alrighty, so it's been a couple hours since that second coat. This is what it looks like. Gonna show you in that light, starting to shine a little bit. It's a clear matte, so it's not super glossy. Just needs one more coat on there. So if you're doing trim work, you can get away with, 2 coats, but on windows you want to do at least 3 coats. You could do 4 if you really want to be safe about it, but these are getting 3. So let's get to sanding again here. We're gonna do another round of sanding and then put the top coat on. Alrighty, so the third and final coat is on, and we are done with that part. Everything's done that we need to do as far as all that. So now I'm just gonna take off all of the masking, demask everything, so that when it's fully cured, we can put this window all back together. All right, so we're gonna put this window back together now. Let's get these sashes put back in here, so we'll do that real quick now, okay? How's that sound? Sound good? Alrighty, sounds good. Alrighty, so that's it. We are done with this window here. I'll show you guys a little sneak peek at the window. I'm putting them in a box right now because these are gonna get transported over to the customer's house and installed by a window installation company. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what it takes to put it all together and do it. So hopefully this video was helpful.